Everybody, and welcome once again to my broadcast show. You know how we do it. So as you join me, like and share the broadcast, like and share, I'm bringing more people. Let's go. Want to see how many people that are willing to join me? Join me, let's go. Man, I'm not seeing, please, if you're on Facebook, make a comment so that I can see you. Make a comment. I'm not seeing comment. I need to remember to be offing this Facebook every now and then. Now, yes. So I'm seeing people on Facebook. So I'm seeing comments. I'm seeing those that are watching me. Live, good morning to you. Sylvester Obianke, good morning to you. Good day to everybody. Ruby, thank you. I appreciate you. Ruby, whoa. I appreciate you. The title for this, Too Much Effigy. I see you. Victor Areka watching from Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya. Ikem, good morning, sir. See you. I see you big time, Ikem. Ikem is one of the owners of this page. For those who don't know, Ikem has been following me for a long time now. So these are one of the people that helped to build this TikTok page. This morning, we are going to touch many issues. We are going to talk about absentee fathers. We are going to talk about, in fact, I actually wanted to title this program, Black Sheep of the Family, but because of that black there, because anything that is not good, you see people, race that don't like Africans, say it is black. They did not say white sheep of the family. They say black sheep of the family. If you drive a train without ticket, they say you are Schwarzfahrer. That is, you are somebody, a black passenger. Things like this. So that is why I did not give this program that title, Black Sheep of the Family. I heard that was, that is holding prejudice against black people, you know. When you, everything bad, you give it black name, you know, things like that. So that was why I did not title this program, Black Sheep of the Family. But this morning, we are going to discuss family issues. And there are so many things to learn in this program. I took my time to come out to, to come stay with you. So as you join me, like and share, it's something you are going to benefit from. You know, I talk based on experience of what I saw happen to people and what I have experienced in life. So as you join me, like and share, let's go. Let's go. Man, yesterday I was so bored. Yesterday I was so bored. I had no place. The weather was not a good one yesterday. I had no place to go. You know, I don't have friends anymore. I'm on my own. And, you know, I enjoy my own company, but it's boring. I do not know dramas, no issues with anybody. I have peace, but it is boring. You don't see anybody say, I did this to him or I said this to him or whatever. I am on my own, but it is boring. I always say Europe has its own advantages and disadvantages. And if you want to live in Europe, you need to weigh the two sides to know the one, to see if you can cope with the loneliness, with the boredom, that is the truth. You might be younger now, maybe because you are still young. Shibweza, I see you. You might still be young. Hope Saratin, I see you. But when you get to my age, you will realize what I'm saying. So, Tigra, I see you. We are discussing family this morning, and it is going to be an interesting program. Family. Also, we are going to touch absentee fathers, that issue of absentee fathers. Fathers who are not there for their children, but when the children made it, when the children became successful, they showed up, they came to reap, they came to benefit from the success. They came to reap what they did not sow. Taiwo, Lowe, Taiwo, I've not seen you for a while now. Hope you are doing great. Good to see you once more. So we are going to touch absentee fathers, and we are going to discuss family issues. Let's go. Guys, we all came from different families, different family backgrounds. A lot of us came from good families. Many came from bad families. Many people watching me do not know their fathers. Some do not know their mothers. Many were raised by their grandparents, maybe grandmother. I'm keeping it real this morning. Maybe grandfather. Some were raised by their aunts, uncles. So, and this is why I said all of us came from different families, and we all had different upbringing in life. They taught us differently. Our upbringing differs. This is why it is important we learn how to listen and tolerate others. Because you did not know how that person was brought up. You don't know how the person was brought up. This is why I love Europeans. See, whenever you are behaving or you call the attention of an European man or woman, I've observed it, even if you are crazy, even if you are a madman, they will give you attention. They will sit and listen to you. What I observed here is, which we don't do in Africa. You see some crazy looking human beings stop somebody on the streets, like say, excuse me. You see Europeans pay attention. I was shocked back then how they give attention to people whom I assume are insane, crazy. When they say, excuse me, they stop and listen. And after a while, you see them respond to that person quietly. You understand me? So now, that tells us you do not know the family background of that person. You do not know what the person has to tell you. You don't just dismiss and say, please, I don't want to live, like the way we do have this crazy man or this crazy woman. Please, I don't want to listen to you, crazy man. I told you guys, angels comes in different forms. Angels come in different forms. According to the stories we read back then, when that's in religious books, when God wants to send his angels here on earth, messengers, they come as drunkards. Some come as mad people or as a beggar. Yes, God sends messengers like angels here on earth as some beggars. They will come approach you as a beggar. You wouldn't know that that person is an angel of God. Or that madman is an angel of God. This is why at times you pay attention. Some may even come to make you a problem. Some angels come as problem makers. That is to see. Did you know that I listened to one man. Not everybody you see walking on earth is a human being. You may argue this. Sometimes there are spirits in human form. You may argue it. Sometimes there are spirits in human form. And there are angels in human form. They come as beggars, or some may come as troublemakers. They come to make you trouble in order to know how you will react or behave. Man, I'm guilty of this one because at times the way I react to strangers. When I was younger, I reacted more violently, but now I hold myself back. Told you guys what happened in the supermarket yesterday. So now I've learned to be cool, assess the situation. At times I keep going. Do you understand me? That's it. So can you close the door, please? So now what I am saying is we all come from different families, different behaviors. We see life differently. Now, can you close the door, please? Now, in different families we came from, guys, 1 second. Now, as we are all from different families, we have different types of family members. The good ones, and the bad ones. Listen to me. Never you come here to tell me that you come from the best family. There is no good family. Unless you are not wise enough to discover that some of your family members are evil, or you are not smart enough to know that they are not good. Listen to me, there is no perfect family. The only thing is there are people who covers themselves, who covers their family issues. I'm not advising you to bring your family issue to public. But we all have family problems. Either you have a stubborn child, or you have a promiscuous daughter, or you have a child who does not want to do anything in life, a useless child, or you have an absentee father, a father that was not there for the children, or you have a mother who is messing up. There is something. We all have different problems in families. So anybody that come here to tell you that his family is perfect is a liar. You look at the first family. The first family, the other. I don't need to even go to that. I don't need to take that religious route. Say Adam and Eve, although that one is who gave them that name. The people that wrote the Bible, how did they know their names? Who gave them? What does that name mean? Adam and Eve. Why not African name? But this is a story for another day. That's not why we are here. So we all came from different families. And there are family members. There are children. Yes, Ikem. There are family members who are there to destroy you, you may not understand it. There are children who came into the family to fight families. They came purposely to come and sow seed of discord, to come and disgrace the family. Do you understand what I mean? There are also children who came to bring glory to the family. You think every sibling, every of your brother, every of your sister came to build. Some came to destroy. Not every family member came to build. Some were planted into that family to destroy. This is something a lot of people, especially parents or some naive brothers or sisters, don't want to hear. That is, how can my brother come to my family to destroy me? How can my sister come to the family to destroy me? If you are of this opinion, that means you do not know how spirituality works. I've said it here many times. I've said it many times. It's not every child that will be useful. It's not every brother or every sister that will be useful. And also, it's not every father or every mother that is useful or deserves respect. But you've got to respect them anyway. But there are fathers who misbehaves. There are mothers who misbehaves. But however, you've got to respect them. But let's continue with this our program. Now, if you look at our various families, there are family members who were born to bring shame to the family. At times, you have a parent who is there to bring shame to the family. Yes, there are also parents who are there to bring shame to the families. I'll give you many instances on how these things works and the solution to these things. Growing up then in Africa, there was one hard-working woman, very hard-working woman. This woman fries akara and plantain. She fries every evening around 4 p.m. The woman will come with her firewood and her frying basin to fry akara and plantain. Sometimes fried yam. She will fry yam. Or you say she fries it, not roast. This woman, as at that time, had like 4 or 5 children. The husband was a civil servant. He works somewhere at a company, I don't know. But every morning the husband will go to work, come back later in the evening. I witnessed that. But that woman worked very hard. Everybody that lived in our streets then praised the woman. But at the end of every month, when the husband received his salary, the husband wouldn't give the woman any dime. The husband would use that money to go drinking. In fact, the man was a drunkard. The man will drink to the extent the man would fall on the street. That is, coming home, the man will be falling. That is, staggering and be falling. And children will be following him and be clapping behind his back. That is, they will be bullying the man as a drunkard. Do you understand me? The man brought shame. This happened for many years. The man brought shame to the children and to the wife. That even the wife, they later had to pack out from that place. He became addicted to alcohol that the man had no control. Every end of the month, you will see the man drunk. He will spend all he earned drinking alcohol. He doesn't come home. He comes home later in the evening, drunk, falling on the streets. On several occasions, I saw the man lay on the streets. He wasn't dead, but he was dead drunk. So there are people, parents, who are there to bring shame to the family. Two, not only children. There are also mothers who are there. They are mothers, but they bring shame to the family. So this morning we are discussing about family, absentee fathers, and the rest of them. You see, like I said earlier, there are also parents, there are also fathers who brought, fathers, not only drunkards, fathers who brought shame to the family. Ask me how. There are fathers who cannot control themselves when it comes to women. This type of men impregnated so many young girls. Anybody married, any lady they met, any lady they saw, they impregnated. Yes, there are fathers who brought shame to the family by impregnating all the women that came their way. That one is apart. That one is by the side. There are also fathers. Yes, now, Ikem, that is what I saw growing up in different locations. There are fathers who use their hand to invite trouble into their family. How did they do it? This is why discipline is required in life. So many men used their hands to invite problem in their homes. How? They brought women. You are married. And you are married at the same time, dating women outside, making babies outside. At the end of the day, you see these babies come home to make troubles. I'm not telling you that some married very bad women and brought those bad women into their matrimonial home. These men used their hand they were living peacefully with their wives, but they used their hand to invite problem into their homes by bringing multiple women. Because you have small cash with you, because you have small money with you, you jeopardized your family by bringing women. You are not supposed. Did you do background check? Did you do background check? You brought in problem. And I have seen some men who brought women who came to fight other children. You see, polygamy has its own disadvantages too. There is a woman you will bring home. That woman, maybe you brought the woman as a mistress, you promised that woman marriage, or because you've been friends, lovers for a long time. There is a woman you will bring home. That woman will fight your children, the children of your first wife, out of jealousy. The woman will use spiritual means, juju, to useless your children. Especially in a family where they have rivals, where they compete among themselves. Many women do not want to see another woman's children bigger than theirs, be bigger than their own children. At times, that woman you are looking at, you want to bring home, that woman, if you eventually bring that woman home, come and see fight. I mean, how they will fight over your properties if you have any. Not only fighting over your properties, if you see the discord that will reign in your family, you will regret. Men, we are not here to discuss polygamy, but I'm here to tell you that there are people who use their hands to bring problem to their families. And there are people who brought shame to their families. When we talk about, that's why I told you there is no perfect family. Yesterday I watched a video of a man who loved his wife so much, and they had a daughter. This man has lived with the wife for over 24 years. When the daughter came, the man was madly in love with his daughter. He showed the daughter fatherly love, began to provide for the daughter. These are African Americans. He began to provide for the daughter. When the girl, even he sponsored the girl in university. You know what it takes to raise a child, pay the school fees, feed, cater for, provide for a child. Only for the man to do DNA. When the girl is 19 years, the man conducted DNA to find out he is not the biological father of the girl. Are you watching me now? This man he went and did DNA test to find out the 19 years old girl he calls his daughter is not his. The girl belonged to somebody else. That is why I told you. Now, in his case, he found out. I saw a man in UK who collapsed after he found out the only child, the only son he thought was his, wasn't his after all. The man collapsed. It was in a program, either in UK or US. Do you know the pains of raising a child, loving a child, just to find out at the end of the day that that child is not yours? You are not the biological father of that child. People use their hands to invite problem in their homes. This is why these men were bold to come outside and say it. And there are so many other cases. So many other cases. Some people are ashamed to say their own, to speak about their problems. This is why I said in the beginning, we are all from different family backgrounds and we have different problems. There is nobody, there is no man or woman who has no challenges in life. We all have our challenges, our problems in life. It depends on how we go about it, how we tackle it. Now, anybody that tells you, as far as you are alive, you have your challenges, don't lie. Now, there are people who came to families, who were born into families to bring honor, to bring glory to these families. Now, if you are among those who were born to bring glory or honor to the family, you've got to be very careful. You've got to, protect yourselves. You got to protect yourselves. If you were born, you will know yourself. If you were born to bring, you will know it. If you are the best among your siblings, know that you were born to bring glory to your family. You look at your family, You are the shining star. You are the chosen one. Know that you were born for this purpose, to bring glory to your family. It's no joke. All of you are not equal. All fingers are not equal. All the siblings do not share the same destiny. So there is always somebody there who is a shining star, who is better than others. If you are the one, if you are the chosen one, you've got to learn how to protect yourself. Let me tell you, keep sharing this broadcast. Now, how do you protect yourselves? If you are the chosen one in your family, how do you protect yourselves? Let me tell you how. There are siblings you don't allow to come close to you. This might sound tough, but this is the truth. There are also parents you don't allow to come close to you, even if you are providing for those parents. There are cousins you don't allow to, nephews you don't allow to come close to you. You may not understand this, but I'm talking out of experience. Because I spoke about ancient voice. Ancient voice. That voice, that problem that has been in your family for generations. It could be, we all have spirits. Spirits that are in charge of families. You may not understand it. Some, that spirit of poverty. Some, that spirit of divorce. Some, that spirit of addiction to drugs, alcohol, or maybe addiction to women or men. And so many others. Some families, they have that spirit of, how do I put it now? That is quarrel, fighting. Every time you go to that family, it's all about fight, quarrel, no peace. Every year in, year out. For generations, they have been fighting over a plot of land. Siblings have been fighting for years. You discover that there are spirits who are in charge of many families. That is what we call ancient voice. Some spirits are there to make sure you did not progress in life. Some spirit of shame. There are families, wherever they go, somebody from a family, wherever they go, they will bring disgrace, shame. You don't understand it. There are some families, wherever they go, either they steal or the girl, they will put an action that will bring shame to themselves or to people who knows them or to the family. Listen, this is where we make mistake. One man, Kostish, said that is just African mentality. Kostish, if you say that is just African mentality, that means you do not believe in spirituality. You don't believe that the spiritual realm exists. If you do not believe in spirituality, that means you are not smart. Why I'm telling you this is because if you dream dreams, if you dream dreams, you will know that spirituality exists. If you say that is African mentality, but you are either a Muslim or a Christian and you read the Quran or the Bible, and you believe in what was written in the Bible or in the Quran. Now let me tell you the story of what happened in the Bible because I read the Bible growing up. Joseph, as a young lad, had a dream that he was going to be big. Joseph had a dream, told his brothers his dreams, and the brothers became jealous of him. And what Joseph dreamt came to pass. That's spirituality. Joseph when he was sold into slavery, when he was bought, Joseph, when he was in the house of Pharaoh, Potiphar, Joseph was thrown in prison. So the Pharaoh had a dream, and nobody was able to interpret that dream. Prisoners said that Joseph, then he was in prison, had the ability to interpret dreams. Potiphar called Joseph. Joseph was brought out from the prison. He explained the dream to Pharaoh, and he was released from prison. That is spirituality. Now, there are people who have the ability to prophesy. There are people who have the ability to interpret dreams. There are people who have intuition. Do you understand me? They feel when something is about to happen. That is spirituality. Now, if you say that is African mentality, why do you bury the dead? Why do you carry out ceremonies when somebody in family dies, even in Europe here? That is spirituality. Why do you carry in, especially in Africa, when a family member dies, a friend dies, you see family members carry out some certain funeral ceremonies. And if you do not do it, if you don't carry that funeral ceremony, you will face problems, spiritual problems. You said that is African mentality. Why do you think? Even the Bible said we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Listen, the Bible says, for we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. What is principalities and what is powers? For we wrestle against spiritual wickedness. What do you understand by spiritual wickedness? You are a grown man. So, spiritual wickedness. So, if you say there is nothing like what I'm saying, that means you don't believe that there are spirits. That spirits exist. And if you say spirits does not exist, well, then that means you don't believe that that angels exist. Guys, 1 second. I was like you many years ago. Costish. He who lacks wisdom or knowledge should seek one. I was like you. Sometimes when I stay on my own, I think about how deep this life is. Let me tell you, I've told you guys many stories, and I do not want to be distracted. Why do you think when people make a will before their death, when people make a will before they die, that will must be fulfilled, must be carried out? And if you do not carry out that will, that is, repercussions will follow. If you do not believe in spirituality. I told you guys the story of a fellow taxi driver. Do you want me to repeat the story? I've told you the story. I've told you guys the story of a family friend who died, whose body was cremated. The body was cremated after he died. What happened? When the dead people gathered, this is not hearsay. So, if I'm talking about strongholds in family, ancient voice in families, I know what I'm talking about. There are families you go, what has been there, what they are suffering in that family has been there for generations, for over 200 years, 300 years. Do you understand me? So, even a lot of people confirmed there was a man, a white American, white man who said in his family for over 200 years, they have not given birth to a girl. This is America, they have records. It was like 3 years ago that the man came online to celebrate the first girl in their family after 300 years, after 200 years. I read it. I saw it. I forgot. I read it. I said, some people may dismiss this. Some people may think it was a joke. I saw it. I read it. For over 200 years, they never gave birth to a girl in their family. He was the person that broke the yoke. Things happens. And did you know why there has never been that could be a cause from a woman? So when I'm making video, when I'm telling you stories, I know what I'm talking about. You can search it. You may even find the story of the man. You can Google it. You may find, if you go to Google, ask a man whose family has not given birth to a baby girl for over 200 years, you might get it. That is, it's not even a made up story. You will get all the information. So when I tell you that we came from different families and we face different problems, it is no joke. As you resemble your father or your mother, or people from your maternal home, as you resemble them physically, so do you resemble them spiritually. You don't understand this. As you resemble your father or your mother physically, so do you resemble them spiritually. And so do anything that flows in their blood. It flows also in your blood. Whatever that is flowing in their bloodline, whether good or bad, also flows in your bloodline. Don't you understand it? And you are seeing physical resemblance. Are you getting me now? You are seeing physical resemblance. You resemble physical resemblance. You look like High Spirit CEO, I appreciate you. You are seeing physical resemblance, but you are not seeing spiritual resemblance. I cannot resemble. I'm from Africa. Listen. I am from Africa, and I came from a particular family in Africa. What flows in my family bloodline is not what flows in your family bloodline. I cannot come from Africa and then resemble somebody that is in China. Odogu said, I'm coming, because I wanted to explain something to Kostich. He has been a follower of this page for long now. So, just to let you know, spirituality exists. And if you do not believe spirituality exists, you cannot fight your spiritual problems. You cannot be able to fight your spiritual problems because you are ignorant of the fact that it exists. There is no how. You will be defeated spiritually. Because you do not know, listen attentively, you don't know that many problems we face here in this life is spiritual problems. Most of the problems we face are spiritual problems. And if you have said it many times here, if you are able to overcome your spiritual battles, challenges, you will overcome your physical ones. People dream dreams, and their dreams, there are people who they show things in dreams. It happens to me. When something is about to take place, I will see it in dream. I feel it. Even if I don't, I feel it. I begin to run up and down, begin to look for how to settle it. This is not juju, because I've been there. I've been fighting. When some people call it premonition. There are some people who have body, that is when something good or bad wants to happen, they feel it. That is also spirituality. There are people when something, that is, you see them, that is, they get the signs. Now, let me keep going. So, don't come here. Before, let me tell you, I never believed. Ikem, I see you. I never believed that juju or magic or voodoo or witchcraft exist. I don't believe it. I moved along in life freely, without fear, without thinking such exists. Now let me give you an Kostic, listen, I will continue with my story after I tell you this now. Before you make a comment, think very well before you make, when you sit on your own, think properly how this life goes. What are the things you've seen? There are some occurrences, there are some things that have happened in your life that is spiritual, that are spiritual. But let me tell you this. Listen attentively. A lot of you are religious people. Say 80% of people following this page are religious people. Many of you are, many are Christians and Muslims on this page. Few atheists, non-believers. Now, you, especially Christians here, Moses met God at Mount Horeb. I've said it before. Listen, you will learn from this story now. God introduced himself to Moses, sent him to Pharaoh. And before God introduced himself to Pharaoh, he asked him, "What do you have in your hand?" Moses replied, "Shepherd staff." He said, "Strike it on the ground." Moses struck it on the ground. Guess what? It turned to a serpent. Listen, that staff Moses had in his hand. I don't want to rush this now. I'm going to explain it properly for you. That shepherd staff Moses had in his hand, when he struck it on the ground, it turned to a serpent. Now, and God told him, he said, "Pick it from the tail." Moses picked it from the tail. I want to make it short. He said, "When you go to Pharaoh, perform this sign." Listen. God said, "When you go to Pharaoh, perform this sign." When Moses reached Pharaoh's palace, he struck that staff on the floor. It turned to a serpent. Pharaoh called Egyptian magicians. Listen, what did I say? Pharaoh called Egyptian magicians. You say you don't believe in magic, you don't believe in spirituality. Pharaoh called Egyptian magicians. They came out. When they came out, they performed the same sign Moses performed. Egyptian magicians struck their own staff on the floor and it turned to serpent. This is what was written in the Bible. And you say you don't believe in spirituality. It was written, go read your Bible. The Egyptian magicians, when they struck their own staff on the ground, it turned to serpent. Now, Many of you, because I want matured men here and matured women. Many of you are religious people. You are Christians and you are Muslims. Many of you are Christians. How come Jesus cast the demon out of people? If you say you do not believe in spirituality, Jesus cast demon out of people. Demonic spirits. If we have them, if there are demonic spirits, that means there is spirituality. That means we have the spiritual realm. If we do not have spiritual realm, then where are the demons from? You see it. So before you come online to utter, say this is, it is not, it happens everywhere. To say this is African, go to India, go to China, go to even in abroad. Even in Asia, in Middle East, all these things exist. So don't come and say this is African. Don't say this is African mentality. There is not. These things exist. So let me continue. Guys, as you watch me on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is a way of supporting a brother. This is how we roll here. We say it the way it is. Somebody said King Solomon was a magician. So I just narrated these stories. I just told these stories for people who don't believe. Somebody asked a question. And that's why I decided to explain these things to him. Now, I said we have giants, strongholds in families. Maybe your family does not have that kind of brutal problems, maybe mild ones that you can simply overcome. There are families that have been fighting battles, spiritual battles. There are families you go, every now and then you see somebody that is mad, either man or woman. There are families you go, every now and then you see somebody die accidentally, die untimely death, die at young age. Every now and then, I've witnessed it. There are families you go, every time you see somebody, see, there are people who have been, families that have drug addicts for generations, drunkards for generations, poverty for generations. These are ancient voices, strongholds that you've got to battle. There are families, they are the same blood, but they are fighting each other. Nobody wants any other person to come up. That's their own problem. They are fighting, they fight each other, they are fighting. That is, anybody that wants to come up, they pull the person down. How about the ones you saw? That is the ones, how about the ones you've not seen? People that go to different places to pull down their brothers, their sisters, their cousins. Occultist family. You see, there are so many things people suffer. There are some fathers, the juju they did when they were alive, their children are still suffering it today for generations. Juju some parents and some mothers did. Some mothers, the juju they did. Their commitments, covenants they have with deities, their children are still suffering it today. That is why you go to Africa, some children will go and scattered on some deities their parents left. You see some pastors go to some families to go do deliverance. Some parents left problem behind. It's no joke. And the children and the generation to come. Yes, yes. Oh, thank you. You know, I don't remember everything. So many families have problems, sick. They suffer a particular type of sickness. You go to a family, they suffer a particular type of sickness. Kostish, if you know this, why then did you ask that question? Why did you say it is African mentality if you know this? You just distracted me from the point. Anyway, let me continue. There are some families, they suffer the same kind of that sickness. They suffer, everyone in that family, because it flows in bloodline. It flows in their bloodline. Every now and then, you see somebody in that family suffer a similar sickness that somebody in the family years ago, one of the grandparents suffered. So, let's continue because this question has taken much of my time. Now let's go. I was speaking about chosen ones before Kostish asked the question. I was speaking about chosen ones. Now, if you are the chosen one in your family, that is, you are the person who brought glory to your family. It does not matter the extent, how big or small the glory you brought to the family is. But if you are the one that is doing better than others, you've got to protect yourself. Now, how do you protect yourself is the question. There are family members you need to distance yourself from. This is the reality. And I did not know this. There are family members you need to cut off entirely. This might be difficult for some people to comprehend. There are family members. I'm not telling you go about suspecting people, calling people witch or whatever. But there are family members you've got to cut off for your own sanity, for your own peace of mind, for your own overall well-being. Do not apply sentiment. Say, how can you cut off? How can you cut off this family member? This is, if you don't cut off that family member, they will keep bringing shame in your life. They will keep drawing you back. And because some of these things are spiritual, you are not capable of solving the problem or fighting that battle. Yes, you cannot fight spiritual problem with physical strength. I'm telling you, you see spiritual problems, spiritual battles, spiritual fights. You cannot fight it with physical strength. So, man, I'm telling you, that as you are shining in life, as you live in glory, I mean, they tell you, you go about, people respect you, people honor you, people like you. These people that, maybe you are living in America, you are living in China, you are living in UK, and people respect you. You've escaped that ancient voice. Listen attentively. You've made yourself new friends, new colleagues, and these people, your life is, your light is shining. There are family members, I did not say all. There are family members, even old friends. If you draw them closer to you, that ancient voice will arise. They will come with that shame, that disgrace, that pull him down syndrome, pull her down syndrome. I'm telling you. You see, maybe you've made yourself new friends who respects you. There is a family member that will come. Your friends will stop respecting you. There is a cousin or a nephew that will come. Those your friends will say, so this is the kind of friend you have. This is the kind of this thing you have. Family you come from. There are people who came into this life with disgrace and shame. You cannot wash it out. This is their life. There are people who came into this life. They did not come into this life to shine. They came, see, this is where African tradition and way of life, do I say, come in. African belief comes in. Many Africans believe in, not only African, believe in reincarnation. Reincarnation is rebirth. That is, whatever you did, whatever you do in this life you are living, when you die, you will be reborn again. You will be born again. You will come back. And if you did good, you will reap good. If you did bad, you will reap bad. There are people who were reincarnated, who came into this life to receive the punishment of their past deed. That is their first life. So they came to be punished. They came to be disgraced, be punished as a result of what they did in the past. And you no go fit. You are not able to clean them of that shame. You can't cleanse them. You cannot do anything about it because it is spiritual. Highly spiritual. And let me tell you, you need to be very careful. There are cursed people. There are people who have generational curses. The curse they have in their lives is generational. There are people who don't have generational curses, but they used their hand to bring curses upon themselves because of their actions, the evil, the atrocities they committed. And these people, when you go around them, if they hang around you, problem will follow you. When these people hang around you, problems will follow you. It's no joke. Now, let me go. Who made the request? Let me continue, because if I bring people up now, I wouldn't be able to continue with this thing. But who made the request? Let me bring the person. If it's an old school here, bring him up. Who made the request? Somebody made a request. So identify yourself. Let me bring you in. Shino. Okay. I've not seen you before, but let me see what you've got to say. I don't know this guy, but let me.
Hey, my brother, Uncle Roddy, thank you. Actually, this is my second time on your live.
Okay.
Um,
Please speak louder so that people can hear you, please.
Okay, can you hear me now, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, people are listening to you.
Thank you, Uncle Roddy. I appreciate it, Uncle. You know what? You're speaking to me. But, there are people that have issues. I have relatives that I've been for many, many years trying to help so many times. But it feels like, when someone is drowning and then you're trying to help them and they're trying to pull you down with them, right? I had to actually, after so many years, I realized I have to come to the conclusion that I have to let them go. As much as I love them, as much as I care about them, I've done everything within my abilities to bring them up, to help them out. But they always turn against me. And they always say I'm a bad person. They always say that they think that I'm trying to act like I'm better than them. So the message that you said today, I wish you could bring it back again. I wish I could listen to it later. Because you know what? Sometimes when we have family members that are suffering, we would like to help them, we would like to elevate them. But unfortunately, us African people, the more you're trying to help our fellow relatives, sometimes they think that we look down on them. They have this inferiority complex. All right? And one thing is, I have realized that it's better to cut people off, because if I don't, then I'm going to end up like them. You know? So this message that you're saying here is, it resonated with me, because I have realized, like, hey, you know, I love them. But I feel sometimes when you feel guilty, like, oh, I wish I could help these people. But then you realize this, the more you try to double down and actually help them out, the more actually even yourself, you'll find yourself becoming like them.
That is the edge. If you're not careful, that's why I said protect yourselves. If you're not careful, they pull you down. They pull you down to their level. And that is the...
Amen.
Yes, you need to be fair. If you're not careful, they pull you down, and there are problems you can see. I said it before I brought you in. You cannot solve a spiritual problem with physical, what is it? Physical, whatever, effort or whatever. You cannot. And there are people in family, that is, you see a man of 50-something years, 40-something years, going to 70 years, he has never been able to change. What do you expect?
I'll tell you this here. I have relatives of mine. They've been having addiction for over 30 years, 20 to 30 years. No matter how much you help them with money,
you cannot solve that problem.
You can't.
You cannot.
You can't. You know? And I have to protect my peace. I have to protect myself, because sometimes you feel bad, but then you realize I don't want to also hurt myself in the process.
You are not wicked. You are not being mean. You are loving yourself. You've done your best. And wisdom is realizing that you cannot do anything about it. It's a spiritual problem.
Yes.
To be honest, there are problems you cannot solve. Because man, a lot of people don't understand this. If you give them maybe 10,000 euros, 50, they will, after some years, go back, they will still remain the way they were.
You know, Uncle, we have people that we bought land for. We gave stuff to start a small shop business. And guess what? They bankrupted those. They sold those things.
One guy living here, sometimes you send them car, bus, bus to drive, to run commercial, whatever, cars. They'll be asking you money for fuel, money for repair.
Yes.
You
and there are people that you send for treatment to get better, and they still go back and then repeat the same pattern. And these are things it's not like over a year. These are things over a decade, over a 10 years period. And I always think to myself, these people don't grow out of these problems. Sometimes you think, okay, you know what? This person is not as wiser. There are people in their 40s and 50s, they're still acting like they're the same. Nothing changed.
This is what I call, if you listen to one of my programs, I call it generational pattern. Generational pattern. When you see a particular thing repeat itself in families, every now and then you see somebody from that family have the same issue. Somebody from that family, that is generational pattern that you cannot solve with physical strength.
Where's that video, Uncle? You know what?
I've made a lot of videos. I make a lot of videos, So what I'm saying is,
if you may allow it, please. You know what? I am this type of person, right? Sometimes I have this weakness in me when I feel sorry for people, right? I need that, like when you actually when you came up with this thing, it actually really touched me. It touched me, and I need to always remind myself, look, there's nothing I can do about it. I cannot help these people. Even if I was Bill Gates, even if I was Elon Musk, even if I give them a mansion, these people will not change, Uncle. And there's nothing I can do.
See, Barack Obama was once American president. Go to his families and you see very poor. I mean, his blood brothers or cousins, very poor. See all these presidents, all these billionaires, go to their villages, go to their kindred, you see very poor people. There are problems money cannot, that is, there are problems you as a person you cannot solve. It is somebody, that person on his own will fight his fight. Many of us, you see that, you see today, you are watching, we made ourselves who we are today, or what we are today. How I mean is, we want to be useful. We want to be useful. Do you understand what I mean? That's what I realized.
You know what? I 100% agree with you, because I've always asked myself, how come these people, no matter how much you help them, no matter how much you want to bring them up, no matter how much like you stick by them, you want to be like a loyal, supportive family member, and they can't just they cannot bring themselves out. And I agree with you 100%. I believe there must be something spiritual. There must be something from in the past life or whatever. That's why they cannot. That's why, like, you know, they're in this predicament that they never, ever, ever change. Never at all. Education that didn't help them. All the family support didn't help, and there are still, even some of them are still homeless.
Some are still homeless.
Streets.
Yes, yes,
And they're getting a lot of support, even from the government. Yeah.
yes. These are
I want to ask you something, Uncle, right?
okay.
I want to ask you something, Uncle. I've always asked myself, why is it that we as African people, our land is full of rich oil. We have everything. Look at all these international organizations, United Nations, World Food Program, UNICEF, you know, Medicine, Doctors Without Borders, all these NGOs, all these things, and yet there are some of us that cannot take advantage of these opportunities that we get. I understand, like, it's hard, but we can't be relying. It's like we have this thing. I don't know whether it's a generational curse. Is it that, what is it wrong with us? Even some of us that come to the foreign, like, I know people that live in Europe, in America, in Australia, Canada, and just they're still even homeless.
Yes, this is family problems I'm talking about. It does not matter. This is what flows in bloodline. It does not matter where you live. I said it here before you joined me. Because that is, you, wherever you live, you carry your family bloodline with you. Whether you are in Japan, you have where you come from. This is what I tried to explain to Kostish. The way we look physically, the way we resemble our parents, our grandparents physically, that is how we resemble them in our bloodline. You understand what I mean now? So that is the way it is. You don't see what flows in the bloodline, but wherever you go, you carry your bloodline, your genetics with you. That is as simple as that. So at times, I come online to explain certain things to people. You know, I come online, I tell people, look, this is how these things are. You can never see. I keep saying it. One thing I realized is you can never ever satisfy everybody, even among family members. If you do not, before you came in, before I brought you in, you need to bear in mind. I said, we all, before I did not know when you joined us, but I said we all came from different family backgrounds. And every family has one or two giants they are fighting. Some are fighting a smaller giant, some are fighting bigger giants. We all have one or two problems we face. Now, if you are among the chosen ones, you've got to protect yourself. Make sure you were not pulled. I will give you guys, maybe when I come live, I will give you guys, okay. See, I've seen World Cup players, soccer players who played World Cup, who played the best clubs in the world. They were paid in millions of dollars. After their football career, they became poor, begging for bread. Some became homeless. That is what I call ancient voice. I have seen people who touched money, their career got to world stage, still they became broke. This is ancient voice. People who knew nothing about spirituality. When I'm talking about protecting yourself, I'm talking about you need to know how to, people to avoid, how to run your chain. If you do not, that ancient voice will rise again and return you to square zero. This is why you see some big men, actors and actresses, people that shined, they rose from grass to grace. After a while, they became broke. That ancient voice came up.
I have seen ministers, people became highest rank in the government. They got minister position, and then soon later, you see them, they lost everything. Even some of their children pass away. Some of their children become addicted, have serious mental health issues. Divorce happened. You know what? You dealt at a point on this generational curse or whatever, something spiritual is going on there. Because sometimes you always think this person is highly intelligent, this person got, all of a sudden they have all these opportunities.
No.
This.
This has nothing to do with being intelligent. This is a spiritual something. When I come online, I tell people, I say, listen, education is not a guarantee you are going to be successful. Intelligence, beauty, or whatever is not a guarantee. When they say the spiritual controls the physical, a lot of people do not know. Before you win your battles in the physical realm, you must first of all win your battles in the spiritual realm. If you lose your battles in the spiritual realm, you can never win your physical battle. There is no, see, if you lose your battle in the spiritual realm, you can never win your physical battle. It's not possible. People don't know. People don't know. That is why, whenever you are facing problems, you should know, first of all, what professors, politicians, people who touched money, who shined before, later their life went out. Their light went out. Their light went out. How and why? Ancient voice came up. That thing that sang for generations, that voice that was there before, came back again. One needs to learn to protect. It's not juju. It's you being spiritually alert, being spiritual alert. I've said it here. When you have repeated negative outcome, start shaking yourself. When you go every time negative result, nothing works for you. And you are supposed to observe this thing earlier before now. You see how your life has been going. Why are you so unlucky? Why are you so unlucky in life? Nothing works for you. Relationship, man-woman relationship doesn't work for you. Business is not working for you. Documents order, why are you unfortunate? That is when you start looking into your life. How did your parents live? What challenges did they face? How did your grandparents, when you discover how your great-grandparents lived, this is where I have problem with Africa. You left. You are supposed to study the history of your ancestors, your family bloodline, to know the challenges and the blessings that followed them. You understand me? So you know how to fight your problems. You left your family. They say charity begins at home. You left your family. You need to study your ancestors. You are studying what was written in Quran and in Bible. This life is about spirituality. You left. A lot of people don't know how their grandparents lived. Even me, nobody taught me. But because I'm spiritually alert and I know these things earlier before now, when I stay on my own, I'm a spiritual person. That's what helps me. Big time. So, man, I've spoken, even I've, maybe I will come back again to continue.
Uncle, I want to say thank you for bringing this up because when I heard the message you said, and I was like, wow, you know what? I've seen it happen within my family members. Some people that I know, right? And I said, you know what? This is, people have repeated issues spanning over 10 years period, and they still haven't changed. And every time they try to do something, they just can't seem to bring themselves. And then when you try to help them more, it's just, you feel like you're drowning with them. So you brought it to my attention, and actually I start to reflect now. I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I need to protect myself. Maybe I need to realize I cannot save them. They need to save themselves. They need to reach out to God, to something, so they can get that thing out of their way. You know? So thank you so much, Uncle. Keep preaching. You know what? Sometimes there's some nights when you come in, you bring in that fire. You know, you bring that fire, and keep doing that because trust me, there are a lot of us out there. We are looking for answers. You know, we want people to share with their wisdoms like you, and then we can get more information, and that way we can learn and we can reflect and things like that. So I thank you, and you know, I'm looking forward to hopefully go back, and if you upload this to your YouTube channel, so I can go back and rewatch. Because you know, sometimes you have this weakness. You feel sorry for them, you want to help them, but then you forget that, hey, you know, maybe I should protect myself first. You know,
You've got to protect yourself.
Okay.
Or you protect yourself.
Yeah.
So thank you, I appreciate you. Well, guys, you know, there are times I'm in the mood to talk. Sometimes I make videos to entertain my fans and followers. And sometimes we speak spirituality. There are times I make videos just to, make my fans happy, you know. That's the way I run this channel. Now, have you asked yourself? Because a lot of you watching me have seen this before. Somebody made a request. Just give me a minute. I will bring you in. Now, there are a lot of. Have you not seen? She knows I appreciate you. She knows I appreciate you. Have you not seen a lot of people who made it and later became broke? People we watched on television. People that even climbed up to global stage, yet they became broke and miserable. Have you had time to ask yourself, but these people touched millions of dollars. How come they became broke? Became junkies? How? See, at times, they set you up. They do set people up spiritually. Spiritual setup. You may not understand this. There are times they set a woman up for you. That woman in your life came to destroy you. At times they set a man up for you spiritually. That man came to destroy you. Yes. I said it in this. You've got to be very careful. Some women came to destroy. Some men came to destroy. Not everybody that came to your life came for good. Some came to finish you up. Pata, pata. You may not understand it, but maybe one day I will run a program about this. Even friends, they do set somebody. That person came to pull you down. That woman, that man was set up spiritually to pull you down. Some came to waste your time and your resources and move. And people wonder. Have you not seen some people, like in the West, like in America, divorce case was what rendered them broke, made them broke. A woman will come, marry you for 2 years, now go for divorce, and you share your property with her. You think it is ordinary. That is spiritual setup. They set you up to ruin you, to ruin your career. That is destroy your resources. You'll be saying, hey, man, you'll be saying, but this guy was on before. You begin to live a miserable life like a rat. Your property, your resources, what you worked for years, go in the hand of stranger. Just 2 years marriage and you lose everything. Yes, 2 years marriage. Some self may even take your life. Guys, I'm coming back later. I just came out to spend time. I wanted to tell more stories. But then a lot of people asked questions, and that's what kind of distracted me. I'm going to come back. See, do I need to see? If I tell you what I've seen, a woman may come. I know somebody. A woman came into his life, burned his 11 years. That's 11 years. The guy achieved nothing. What only he achieved was to stay with the woman, finish. No child, no investment, nothing. Iron Man, I see you. Some by the time they pulled out from the relationship, it was already late. Yes. Some will come and burn like even here. Some before you will pull out to realize where you are, you've wasted years. CJ Clinton, I see you. Do you understand what I mean now? So those that are watching me on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want us to hit 4,000 subscribers quick. Well, guys, this program, when I'm running a program, I respect my followers. If I bring people in, I kind of forget my line of thoughts. There is a way these things goes. As you talk, the ideas comes into your head. It downloads in your brain. So when you give people attention, when you talk to people or read comments, you get distracted. That thing in my brain that I wanted to deliver, will just be gone. At times, not always, but there are times it happens like that. So you've got to protect yourself first as a human being. And it is not every problem you can solve. You cannot, like I said, you cannot solve spiritual problems with physical solutions or physical efforts. You cannot do it. It's not possible. So I want to say thank you, guys. If you are seeing me for the first time, follow my page. Sometimes I make videos to entertain you. It's not every time. Sometimes I make videos to tell stories to keep you guys entertained. I'm coming back later tonight. Later today. So there are so many topics. So when I come back, we continue with I will give you guys instances. Instances. How come a king became a beggar? How come a king became homeless? People you watched, adored. Go to US, go to all parts of the world. Any parts, you see people that made it, became poor, became beggars. What happened? What happened? Footballers, actors, actresses, so many kinds of people. Even not Hollywood actors and actresses. Musicians, people that are globally known, later became broke, homeless. You don't ask yourself, what happened to these guys? If you want to know, that is spiritual problems. Most of the thing, ancient voice happened to them. So guys, I want to say thank you for joining me. Ike Okada money with spirits. Ikem Chow, let me tell you, money. Okay, if I come back, we continue this. If I come back, we are going to touch other areas. If I come back, I want to take a break. I cannot sit. When I tried to do some workout yesterday, my back is paining me. So when I come back, we continue. I might go live 3 times today. I'm in the mood to talk. I might go live 3 times today. I'm in the mood to talk. So guys, I'm gonna come back. Just a few hours time. I want to relax and then I come back again. See you guys. So those that are watching on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you. Don't fail. They say, be your brother's keeper. A lot of people laugh at me when I say I have no money. So, you supporting me, following my page, subscribing to my YouTube channel is a way of supporting a brother. I know good lie for you. I know good lie for you. So guys, see you then later.